Let's solve this question with me. May had some books. She donated 3/8 of the books and gave away another 24 books. So these two sentences have many information. Let's unpack them slowly in a mathematical way. So May has some books. So how do I represent the number of books in a model? I will draw just a long bar to represent it. Next, she donated 3/8 of the books. So we need to unpack what does 3/8 of the book mean. What does the number 3 and 8 means in this context? So this 3 represents 3 units that she has donated, and 8 represents the total number of books she has. So the total number of books is represented by 8 units, and she donated 3 units away. So let's cut this model into 8 parts to represent all the books. And she donated 3 units. So let's shade it and right here, donated. So we have unpacked the first half of this sentence. Now the second half, she gave away another 24 books. So she did another thing, give away. And how many books did she give away? 24. So now, they did not indicate this 24 book is represented by how many units. So please do not assume that it's 1 unit, 2 unit, or 3 units. But you have to assume that it's less than 1 unit or more than 1 unit. Up to you. Okay? And make sure when you cut the model, cut the unit, it does not look like half the unit, because this will lead to some misconception later and you might divide by 2 later. Okay, so just cut. I'm going to cut more than 1 unit. Okay, and I'm going to say this part, she gave away. And it's 24. So I like to write all the names on one side of the model and the numbers on the other, so it keeps things neat and separated. Now let's continue. She had 4/7 of the books left and packed them into 20 boxes. So let's unpack this sentence carefully again. First part, she had 4 out of 7 books left. So what does 4 and 7 means in this context? Books, the number of books in this case is 7 units, and she has 4 units left. So what does that mean? That means that this amount of model here is 4 out of 7 units. So let's write that down. And pack this remaining parts into 20 boxes. So I'm not going to complicate the model any further, but I'm just going to write the information at the side. Repacked into 20 boxes. Some boxes contain 10 books, while others contain 18 books. So it can be 18 or 10 books. And we don't know how many books contain how many boxes has 10 books or how many boxes has 18 books. So now, question A. How many books were packed into the 20 boxes? So I want to find out this, the number of books represented here. So my question mark for A will be here. So we only have one number in this entire question, which is 24. And to find out the number of books, I need to know how many units is represented by 24. But this doesn't tell me anything. So what we need to do is to look at the model carefully and read the question. So at first, they say that there's 3/8 of the books given are donated. So I can actually say that this part of the model is 3/8 of books. So look at these two fractions. This is 3 out of 8. 8 units represent all the books. This is 4 out of 7. 7 units represent all the books. So there should be the same total number of books, but it's represented by different units. So what does that mean? That means that they actually have the same number of books. These fractions given are all in its simplest form. So we have to find its equivalent fraction where the total units is exactly the same that represents all the box. So let's make the denominator of both fractions the same. So 3 out of 8 times 7 is 21 out of 56. 4 out of 7 equals to times 8 is 32 out of 56. Now I'm going to use purple to represent the units. So 3 out of 8 of the books is represented by 21 units. 4 out of 7 of the books is represented by 32 units. So now, total there are 56 units. So the whole thing is 56 units. So if there's 21 here, 32 here, how many units is represented by 24? I will take 56 minus 21 minus 32. I will get 3. In other words, 24 is represented by 3 units. So now we have an equation we can write. 3 units is 24. So 1 unit is 24 divided by 3 equals to 8. So now, 32 units has how many books? So it will be 32 units. 8 times 32 equals to 256. So 8 has 256 books. Now let's continue with part B. I want to find out how many boxes contains 18 books. So this 256 books we found in part A is repacked into 20 boxes, and some of them contain 18 books, some of them contain 10 books. There are 2 ways to solve this question, either the guess and check way or the assumption method. So in our video today, we are going to practice the assumption method again. So what's the assumption method again? So first, we will assume all the boxes contains 10 books. So I will take 20 times 10 equals to 200. So if all 20 boxes contain 10 books, there should be only 200 books. But we have 256 books. So where did the additional 56 book comes from? It must come from the boxes that contain 18 books. So second step, we will find the difference. Okay, I'll take 256 minus 200 books equals to 56. This is due to boxes containing 18 books. So next, we will divide. Divide by what? We'll divide by the difference of the number of books. So divide. We'll take 56 divided by 8. How did I get 8? I take 18 books minus 10 books. Difference of 8 books. So that will give me 7. Okay, so this extra 56 book comes from the boxes that contains 18 books. So I have 7 boxes of 18 books. So that's the answer for B.